Okay, I'm here, I'm back, and yes, I know a few people will be saying this is a bad time to be doing any kind of live stream, Fred, because isn't Critical Role going to be starting shortly, or has it started already? I do totally understand, but it's good for me because then I get to do this live stream and then I can go and watch Critical Role as I'm applying for jobs. So I'm gonna live with this. Now you'll find that the sound should be coming through fine. You'll let me know if there's any problems. I'm just going to say one thing. Look, the reason I'm doing this video, which sounds a little bit odd to some people, I would imagine, because I just recently did a video on milestones, and then somebody asked me a question. So I'm going to say it now. You will find the start time for this video down in the description. So it's all cool. Just look down in the description later on. You'll find the start time. There's a reason why I'm doing this video. The reason I'm doing it is because somebody asked me, how do I apply milestones to the Lost Mine of Phandelver? And I knew the answer to just about everything apart from one aspect. And I suddenly realized I knew the answer was in the adventure. I just needed to be able to pick it out. So that is why I'm doing this video. Okay? Now, if you haven't been part of my live streams before, normally what I do is I will present everything first, which I'm going to do, and then open it up for questions and answers near the end. Now, how long will this video take? I expect this video to take me about 5 minutes. It might take a little bit longer than that, but it's not going to be a very long video. Okay, so don't freak out. There will be time to get to Critical Role. I do understand your excitement about that particular program. Okay, so let's get started, shall we? Hi, welcome to HowtoDandD. My name is Fred Wheeler and today I want to talk about Dungeons and Dragons. And today's video is specifically for the Dungeon Master. This is a Dungeon Master's guide. It's not a guide for players, so if you are a player, probably not the right video for you. I do have hundreds of videos that would be suitable for you, but if you are a Dungeon Master, this is a Dungeon Master's guide for the Lost Mine of Phandelver, and the question we're going to answer is, how do you use milestones in the Lost Mine of Phandelver? How do you do it? And actually there are really, I would say, 3 milestones in the Lost Mine of Phandelver, which makes a lot of sense because you're supposed to be playing from level 1 through to level 5. So you only have 5 major milestones in this adventure that will grant some sort of character advancement. The very first one in terms of advancement is near the very, very beginning. It's called Part 1, Goblin Arrows. Now, Goblin Arrows actually states how the milestone works. It states on page 12 that exploring Cragmore hideout and defeating the Clark and the Cragmore goblins will complete the first milestone. So as long as they explore Cragmore hideout, defeat Clark, and defeat the Cragmore goblins, you have completed a milestone and you level up. Now, I know a few people are going to say, well, hang on, what about Sildar Hallwinter? Actually, if Sildar Hallwinter dies, it doesn't matter. I know that sounds terrible and cruel, but actually he is not key to leveling up. So don't worry about that particular aspect. Okay, the next one. Now, this is slightly out of order for a lot of people because you'll be thinking, I don't understand why you've used this particular order. I'm going to Part 3. Okay, Part 3 is the Spider's Web. This is indicated on page 41, and essentially all they have to do is discover the location of Wave Echo Cave. This completes the next major milestone. And I know what you're thinking, well, that doesn't make a lot of sense. There's a lot of material in that particular part, and it's out of sequence, Fred. The thing is that not all of those adventures are required to level up. You don't have to do all of them to actually progress. So don't worry about it. The key feature is them finding the location to Wave Echo Cave. And there's a couple of ways this can be done. They can go and ask a number of individuals within this adventure on that particular chapter as it happens. The first one is they can go and ask Agatha the Banshee. Provided they haven't burnt up their first question with something else, they could actually say, could you please tell us where Wave Echo Cave is? Or where is Cragmore Castle? Since they are trying to find Gundren Rockseeker, that would lead them to Cragmore Castle. Gundren Rockseeker and his map would then give them the location of Wave Echo Cave. So there's another way of getting that done. They could also approach Redolf the Druid, who is in Thunder Tree, and he will give them the answer to where Wave Echo Cave is, provided they defeat the dragon. So that's a tough task. That's very tricky. But if they were to ask him where is Cragmore Castle, then he's probably more than likely going to give them the answer they want without having to worry about the dragon, but they might have to deal with the dragon cultists. That's the only sort of drawback with that particular avenue for that particular part of the adventure. Or, if they wanted to, they could go and negotiate with Harmon Cost, and Harmon Cost can give them the information they want. There will be some bargaining. They need to have a bargaining chip to work with Harmon Cost, but that's all fine too. Or, if they want to make it real simple for themselves, they can simply, if they have a clue as to where Cragmore Castle is from their adventures with the Cragmore hideout, they might know where to go to get to Cragmore Castle, therefore discover and recover Gundren Rockseeker. Now, even if Gundren Rockseeker dies, it doesn't matter as long as they can recover a map or information about where Wave Echo Cave is. That's the key to that particular part of the adventure. Once they have completed one of those things in any order like that, it doesn't really matter, there's multiple ways of doing it, they level up. Okay, now we're slightly out of sequence, I do know. What about Phandalin? That's part 2, Phandalin. Now, it actually mentions on page 26 that the next major milestone is achieved when they have to deal with the Red Brands, that is the Red Brand Ruffians. Once they sort them out, it's all good, right? It's all good. They also have to deal with the leader Glassstaff. He needs to be brought to justice. The Red Brands might not necessarily need to be killed, but they do need to be brought to justice. And the party at this point should also know that the Black Spider is searching for Wave Echo Cave. That will complete those 3 aspects. So there's 3 things they have to do to be able to progress and level up. Here is the thing that I know a few people will be saying, I don't understand what's going on here. You've put it out of sequence. Part 2 and Part 3 can be done in any order. It is preferable that you were to do the adventure in the order of Part 1, Part 2, Part 3, Part 4 in terms of difficulty. But you can do Part 2 and Part 3 out of order. You don't have to do it in a particular order. There's no set order for that. So don't worry about that particular aspect of the adventure. Okay, last part. That is Part 4. What are we doing here with Part 4? Well, as it happens, the only thing they need to worry about with Wave Echo Cave, which is Part 4, is the party facing the adventurer's mastermind, the main villain. Once the Black Spider has been defeated, and the lost mine reclaimed from the Black Spider's henchmen or women, and from the undead, and from Mormisk, then they have completed the last of the major milestones that are required to finish this adventure. Yeehaw! At this point, the player's character should be finishing at about level 5, and you're all done. So it's actually pretty simple. It's not as hard or difficult as you might think. Now, let's cover some of the aspects that people might be getting confused by, and that is, although there are small adventures and quests and monsters and a dragon that they could deal with those, they are not required to be completed to result in a milestone being achieved by a player's character. They are there to do if you feel like. They will help you move the story on in some cases, but not always. So therefore, you don't need to worry about that sort of thing. Now, if you have any questions at all about how to level up and use milestones in the Lost Mine of Phandelver, please present your questions and your feedback. If you've done it before, let me know right now. Use the comment section. If you want to see more videos like this, I have a huge playlist on the Lost Mine of Phandelver, which I'm sure you will find useful in some way. I have many other videos that you can go and watch too that have to do with player and dungeon master advice, particularly for people who are starting out and also for experienced dungeon masters and players. Now, please share, like, and subscribe. Hit the bell button to be notified when I go live and when I publish new videos. And if you're really lucky, YouTube might actually send you a notification. Ha. And hey, till next time, keep rolling those 20s. Okay, I'm not gone, but I do need to drink some water. I've got about 20 minutes left if I'm lucky before you're all off to go and watch Critical Role. So let me get into position. I might seem like I'm not quite, what's the word, that I sound a bit odd. It's because I'm not standing right over the microphone. I have to sort of position myself in the camera now, because you're going to get to see my face. And we'll go to the live chat, try to work my way through here very quickly, since we're all very, very eager to run off and go and watch one of the most popular. Thank you for the live, for the super chat. Who was that? I'm looking down here. Thank you, Nick. Thank you very much. And you are welcome, Nick. It's funny how have a discussion with people on a live stream. To be honest, I feel like a lot of people, when they ask me something or to do something on a live stream, it's much more likely to happen. Anyway, hello Matt, how's it going? Dear Jesus is here. I see you guys are having a chat there. Little natter. This is my little community here when they shop. How's it going, Hubba? F Hubba. Yes, I know it's a little bit of bad timing in terms of Critical Role, but don't worry, we'll all be done in a second and you can go and watch Critical Role. Matt's talking about the summer and playing Dungeons and Dragons with his kids, which I think is a fantastic idea. I'm assuming that's what you're talking about. Hopefully I didn't get that wrong. If I find a place and 2 more players, all right, Hubba's going to organise his game. So you guys are already in the planning phase, which is great. Milestones do sound awesome, don't they? I know a lot of people don't necessarily like them. They feel that they're better off to use experience points, but I don't think that, most of the adventures now being released are using milestones. You can just use a milestone. I hate milestones. I knew you would. I knew you would want to be able to number crunch every single XP point. Hubba, I absolutely knew that was going to be the case. And I know that later on you're going to fill up the comment section with a whole lot of your particular way of doing things. It's all cool, man. You don't have to use milestones. I'm just putting it out there. I can't reward exceptional actions with milestones. Right, okay. There are other ways of awarding people something for doing something that doesn't involve experience points. Laugh out loud. I understand count XP is fun for the players. It can be for some, not for all. Don't worry, hubby. We're going to get past there. You're going to get to watch your Critical Role. I'm going to be watching it too. Dear Jesus, all depends on the players. Some players like to keep track of their progress and others just want to play without worrying about it. Yes, I have found that to be the case. I've also found that players won't necessarily accurately record their experience points, so you wind up as a dungeon master tracking all of that and making sure that it's all working out fine anyway. So it's sort of, it's kind of a bit pointless. Mr. Nerf. Oh, message retracted. Hopefully you've got some feedback for me, Mr. Nerf. Okay, Hubba. Milestone. Approximate right number of creatures encountered. Next rest stop level done. Cool. Right. Yeah, but but see, I talked about milestones don't have to be just around collecting experience points for killing monsters. Fire Lord Singer. You would think my players hate it. Okay, they made me switch to milestones because some PCs got ahead. Yes, well, see, that's the thing. If you have people who have real lives, who aren't just kids, who can just show up to every single game, whether you're sick or you've got family issues, sometimes you'll find the disparity between people starts to increase. And those people who, for whatever reason, couldn't make it, they might have had a legitimate reason, or they might have had a reason that didn't seem legitimate to you, that will all sort of play in. I think it's a good way of operating. Certainly, I'm not worried so much about what the players think in terms of milestoning. I only care about what the Dungeon Master thinks, because I want the Dungeon Master to spend their time. Look, if you spend your time on experience points, then you don't have time to fill out your characters. I have like a whole bunch of really cool videos on how to make your NPCs come to life in the Lost Mine of Phandelver. But they are long. They take time to watch and time to write notes on if you're going to use them. So I want you to build your character and your story rather than try to build a number crunching pyramid. Okay, Hubba, I always use XP awards, 1/3 encounter, kill, or otherwise make the enemy insignificant. 1/3 loot level, 1/3 roleplay, completing a quest. Well, that's fine. There's no problem with that, Hubba. You can do it that way. Fire Lord Singer. No. I keep them at the same level as best I could. They did not like having the exact same XP. All right. Well, we all have different ways. And hopefully you guys haven't gotten to an argument as I scroll down here. I do hope you have not. Second edition. The different classes level at different rates on purpose. Yes, I'm aware of that, but we're not playing second edition anymore. You're playing the Lost Mine of Phandelver, so unless you're taking the adventure, which you could, and use the Dungeons & Dragons 2E, which most of us are not, then I don't know why it comes into play. I am aware because I did use it. I didn't think it was a good idea, and if anything, it just created problems at my table. Okay. I prefer XP, but my players don't. Well, that's fine. I find myself moving. There are certain things that my players would prefer and I don't. And I'm slowly moving to the point where I care less about just about everything. Milestones is generally faster leveling and easier, like ignoring encumbrance. No, well, that's not true, Hubba. I know somebody who used milestones and we leveled very slowly. In fact, so slowly we didn't know when we were going to level up. Because we had no sort of idea. He wouldn't communicate with us sort of an idea of how we would progress. And so that made it very difficult. So, yes, it really depends on the Dungeon Master as in terms of speed of leveling. You actually got a notice before it started. Wow, that's awesome. Firelord. Fred, are we, after we finish OOTA, running my players through Lost Mine of Phandelver, your videos will help me so much. Thank you, dude. You are welcome, Firelord. And thank you, Nick, for your super chat. I am sticking around. Have you got a question for me, Nick? Or you just want to thank me? I do appreciate it. It really is awesome. I am getting my Patreon page organized. It's coming along. Don't worry. It's gonna happen. Mr. Nerf, I did get a notification for the stream about an hour ago. Oh, good, because I posted it up about 2.5 hours ago. Jean Paul, as a DM, I always appreciate my players resolving challenges in another manner other than the typical murder hobo play. Some of our best sessions have been those where we used mostly roleplay. Yes, they have. They've been very funny too. Jean-Paul is currently dungeon mastering in the home group that I play with. Okay. Jean-Paul does use experience points. Yep, he does. He'll let you know that anyway. I run the first session of Lost Mine of Phandelver for my family. We haven't been able to play ever since, but they have 2 sessions planned next month. I'll be using milestones. Yes, use them. Go for it. You don't get to play very often, use milestones. I've been awarding them with actions, items, or story fluff instead of XP. Dear Jesus, I think that's a brilliant idea. I think those are good ways to go. And there are XP doesn't have to be the only thing we reward a player for what they're doing with their character. Jean-Paul, yes, ask Fred about Lady Ariel versus Garlem, the Ogre Overlord, one of our best sessions ever. We laughed so much. Yes, it was very, very funny. But I'm not going to talk about that because we've got to get through this topic. That's a story for another day. Okay, Mr. Nerf, have you got any ideas how much XP the players would get if they killed all the encounters in the Lost Mine of Phandelver? Okay, so if you have a table, I had a table of about 6 or 7 players. If they all go through and butcher absolutely everything, which my table did, which was appalling, but they did it anyway, you will find they'll finish off at just under 5th level. They'll be 4th level, some will be just hitting the beginning of 4th level, and some will finish just under 5th level, and that's sort of how it plays out if you go and you destroy everything. But that'll change if your table size is different. If you've got a different size table, then it changes. If you need any tools to help DM Lost Mine of Phandelver, let us know. Yep, cool. And yeah, go and check out my Facebook group, HowtoDandD. There's lots of very helpful people over there, which Mr. Nerf is talking about. Thanks a lot. I'm in the Facebook group too, but I've been running 2 other campaigns during the year, so I've got myself some XP. Okay, alright. Okay. Disparity in player levels has never worked for me. I want all of the players to enjoy the game. Learned that from the Jedi Master Fred. Oh, thank you, Jean-Paul. Thank you. It's not really the case, just a normal guy. Dear Jesus, 2 other campaigns, nice. Well, it sounds nice. I've run many campaigns, and if he's running that many campaigns, he's going to be very busy. Firelord Singer. OOTA, Out of the Abyss. Yes. I really want to do some videos on some of the characters in Out of the Abyss. But this is the problem. You know, what I want to do and what I have time to do is another thing. I mean, I suppose if I found myself in a position where I had the choice of going back and having to work in retail, and I started my Patreon page, and then suddenly there was enough money to survive on Patreon and my AdSense revenue and the affiliate marketing per month, just doing this. I know I've said I wouldn't want to do that, but if I had the choice of doing that and going to retail, I'd probably do it. Then all bets are off, and God knows how much stuff you're going to wind up on my channel. You know how much stuff I make already. So yeah. Mr. Nerf, I started 1 game but wanted to play more than once a month, so now it's 2 games I run, and I play in 1. Oh, wow. Yep, that sounds like something I've done in the past. All the best with that. It's hard to keep up for a long time. Yeah, dear Jesus, I totally get it. I've enjoyed being a player for at least a year now. I think it's about a year. It might just be just over a year now. Yeah. Out of the Abyss is a blast. Yeah, I just don't like the way it's structured. I found it very difficult to wade my way through. That's exactly... Firelord, you're right. Yeah. Absolutely. Screw retail. I do not like it. If I had a choice between retail and doing this, I would just make videos for you guys. And that'd be it. Okay, look, I need to get out of here. You need to go and get some food and some drink so that you can settle down, whether you are at work or somewhere else, and prepare for Critical Role. So what am I likely to do tomorrow? I don't know. I really want to tell a story tomorrow, and I just got to find the time to put it together. That's really, I guess, where I'm coming from. So I'm going to say my normal thing, and that is, where is it? That is it. Have a good day, morning, afternoon, night, whatever it is in your part of the world. Look after your family, look after your friends, because they are important, and look after yourself. And till next time, keep rolling those 20s.